You think you need more motivation, more tips, more techniques, some magical mental hack to train your mind like you're rewiring a machine. But let me tell you straight, motivation is a sugar high, and hacks are what people reach for when they've run out of honesty. If you want to overcome anything, you need something older, harder, something forged in pain, heat, repetition, and solitude. What you need is Stoicism as a daily fight. You don't train your mind by sitting still and thinking positive. You train it like you train a muscle, by dragging it into discomfort again and again until it doesn't flinch. That's what the Stoics did. That's what they lived. Marcus Aurelius didn't have peace. He created it inside himself. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's the core. That's the weapon. You don't train your mind to escape hardship. You train it to eat hardship for breakfast. You're not born mentally strong. No one is. The mind left untrained becomes soft, reactive, addicted to comfort, allergic to resistance. Look around, most people are stuck in that place. The minute pain shows up, they fold, they scroll, they run. The Stoic doesn't. The Stoic sits still and looks pain in the face, not to suffer, but to transform. Epictetus said, "Difficulties show a person's character. So when trouble comes, think of yourself as a wrestler whom the gods, like a trainer, have paired with a tough young buck. For what purpose? To turn you into Olympic-class material." You say you want peace, you say you want to be unbreakable, then stop avoiding pressure. Lean into it. Real mental strength doesn't come from theory, it comes from practice. Violent, deliberate, boring practice. You train by catching every complaint before it escapes your lips, by holding your tongue when pride wants to bark, by waking up when your body says no, by sitting in the fire of your own weakness without reaching for a distraction. The Stoics didn't fantasize about overcoming, they prepared for it. Premeditatio malorum, premeditation of evils. They rehearsed disaster before it struck, not because they were pessimists, because they were builders. They didn't wait for pain to knock them down to find out who they were. They built themselves for the blow before it came. Seneca put it like a sword. He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand. That means you don't get crushed by the unexpected because you expected it. You train your mind by asking harder questions, not how do I avoid this, but how do I become someone who can bear it? Not why is this happening to me, but what part of me still needs strengthening. Every setback is a signal. Every failure is a forge. The Stoics didn't treat pain like a glitch in the system. Pain was the system, the test, the gym, the battlefield. This is where most people get it wrong. They think Stoicism is about suppressing emotion. It's not. It's about dominating it, about using logic like a blade to cut through fear, ego, anger, weakness. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." That's your superpower. Not control over the world, control over how you see it. But that vision doesn't show up overnight. You train it like you train your hands to bleed on rough stone until they harden. You train it by walking straight into the parts of yourself you'd rather avoid. The laziness, the insecurity, the dependency on praise, the craving for safety, you name it. You don't shame it. You hunt it down and you break it apart piece by piece until it no longer rules you. That's what training the mind looks like. It's not some calm meditation on a mountain. It's more like war, you versus you. Your higher self dragging your lower self into the dirt and making it sweat. And the Stoics loved that fight. They didn't fear adversity. They summoned it. They asked for harder roads. Don't ask for things to be easier, said Epictetus. Ask for the strength to endure them. That's the Stoic blueprint, not less burden, more backbone. Most people treat mental training like a phase. The Stoics treated it like a way of life. There was no finish line. No, I'm healed. No, I've arrived. Only, what am I avoiding today? And how do I face it? That's the rhythm. You train, you bleed, you fall, you get back up. Not once, not for a season. every single day, forever. You want to overcome anything? Then become the kind of person that nothing can conquer. That doesn't happen in bursts of motivation. It happens in silence, repetition, solitude. It happens when you do the thing even though no one claps, even though fear crawls up your spine, even though nothing inside you wants to. That's when you're chiseling out the real you. And don't think the Stoics were born this way. They weren't monks. They weren't superhumans. They were men ripped apart by war, death, exile, betrayal, disease. They had tempers. They had doubt. They got tired. They buried children. They stood at the edge of power and the edge of despair and still chose reason over rage. That's what made them Stoics, not what they felt, but what they did with what they felt. Seneca once said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that things are difficult." You hear that? The fear in your chest isn't a wall. It's a mirror showing you the exact place where you need to step forward. You don't need to wait to become ready. You become ready by moving. And here's the part no one wants to hear. There is no end to adversity. There's no future where everything clicks and you coast. Life doesn't care about your plans. It will rip the floor out from under you again and again until you learn to walk on air. That's the truth. The Stoic doesn't pray for stability. He trains for instability. He welcomes chaos, not because he likes pain, but because he knows this. I will lose everything one day. My health, my loved ones, my own life. But until then, I will train. That's not fatalism. That's freedom. Because once you stop clinging to comfort, you become unstoppable. Once you stop expecting life to be fair, you stop acting like a victim. Once you stop waiting for the world to change, you change yourself. The Stoics didn't sit in their rooms hoping for peace. They created it inside themselves and then carried it like armor into the world. So what's your excuse? That it's hard, that you're tired, that no one understands? Good. That means it's working. You're in the fire. Don't run. Burn. Let it carve out the weak parts of you. Let it force you to find your center. Because once you do, once your mind is trained, there is nothing left to fear. Not failure, not pain, not loss, not death. You will still feel, but you won't be ruled. You will still stumble, but you won't collapse. You will still suffer, but you will not quit. That's what it means to train your mind the Stoic way, not to rise above life, but to meet it fully, to stand tall, unflinching while the storm howls, to smile at difficulty and say, "You're late. I've been expecting you." That's not just resilience, that's dominion, and it's yours if you're willing to earn it. So start today. No speeches, no promises, no hashtags, just action. And then again tomorrow, and again after that, because the world doesn't get easier, you get stronger. And hey, if even one sentence woke something up in you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Not for clout, for strength, for clarity, for someone else out there who needs to be reminded that they're not weak for wanting stillness. They're strong for chasing it. Like it, subscribe, speak this channel into existence. Because maybe the numbers are low, but the impact, that's up to you. The world doesn't need more content. It needs more conviction. And if you've found any here, then make sure this voice doesn't get buried, because Stoicism isn't supposed to trend, it's supposed to last, and together we can make sure it does. I'll see you in the next one. Stay sharp, stay grounded, stay stoic.